Welcome back, my people. Back with another video. Hope y'all having a great day. This work drama episode is going to be about promotions. Now, initially, I wasn't going to make it about how to get a promotion. In order for the story to make sense, I'll let y'all know how I got it. So, I was working at this job at the time for like 9 months, and I was like one of the best workers. I was very efficient. I did things fast. Um, and I wasn't the best folder, but I was like top five, which is good enough. This is a clothing store as well too. We sell sports apparel, kind of like a Nike store, but I don't work at Nike. So, at the time I was really stressed because I had credit card debt that I desperately needed to pay off, made some mistakes. And I was just like, yo, the only way I'm gonna get full time, because they wasn't really offering full time to regular workers, was if I get a promotion and become a manager. And I was just desperate, like, yo, I need the full-time hours, and with a manager I've been having more control. I just need it. They keep saying I'm great. This is probably the only job where they actually complimented me, and I'm like, yo, I just need this job. So to say how to get a promotion, just because I was always late. And but one of the things I did, when I worked, I did the best I could. I cleaned out. I just did everything they told me. Not everything they told me, but I also tried to do things my way. I tried to do the work my way. Because a lot of their ways were like a waste of time. Like even stuff they do now was a complete waste of time. I just got the work done. It was the way they wanted, but I tweaked it a little bit. I don't know if I can give a good example. A good example would be uh they would have these clothespins. Oh man, my list. These clothespins that they want to put in to like tell people like, hey, fill in the store. But I'm like, yo, you could just make a list, and then we could just leave it for y'all to do in the morning. That's something y'all can do in like 15 minutes. Or we could just do that before we leave, pull it, and then whatever. So I would do something like that. I would just fill it in before I left instead of leaving clothespin. Doesn't make sense. I could just fill it in. Half the stuff we didn't even have. So that's how I got the promotion. I was somebody who also, my schedule was flexible. I didn't just work morning and nights. I worked any schedule they gave me. I can just go to. I can just make it. Like, I didn't complain. I was always available 100% of the time. You know, that's how I got the promotion. That's how I got. And I was only one of three applicants. It was me. I'm not gonna say their names. It was a young. Well, they were both younger than me, but it was. I guess I need a name. I guess it was me, Will, and I don't want to say Kevin. I do know Kevin. We'll call him K maybe. Yeah, me, Will, and K. So, at that point, K was a little upset that I was. Well, first of all, they didn't even tell me about the promotion initially. That was something that you had to like apply on your own. But out of everybody who applied, there was only really three applicants, and I was one of them. And so, Kay told me about it. Kay said that, they had came to him and said, yeah, like they asked me to do it. Should I do it? And I told him, yeah, he should do it if he wants it. I felt, I didn't really believe him because he's lied before. But it's like, why would they ask him of all people? I'm going to get into that later. Kay was a good friend of mine too. But except, I'm going to get to that later. So I'm like, bro, like, but then I heard that you can just apply. So I'm like, I'm going to apply. I need the money. And at the time, I wasn't stressing about it, but it took a long time to do 2 interviews. So it took like 2 months. I was anxious about it and anxious and anxious. And the longer it took, I was just like, yo, just let me know if I should get it or not. So, what am I looking for? So by the time the answer comes through, they're basically saying something like K got it over me. Now, I wasn't too surprised. Was I upset? Sure. But I wasn't too surprised. Now, another thing I can get into is favoritism. That still is something I might say for another episode, but I might get into, like, so people may say, well, if you're, like, the best worker there, why didn't you get promoted? What did he have over you? He didn't have anything. He just kissed the boss's ass. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, there's crazy favoritism at work. There's people that they're particular about. For whatever reason, they just favor certain people. And there's nothing you can do about that. If somebody kisses ass to get where they want to be, hey, that's fine. Don't say he was better than me. You like him better than me, that's fine. A lot of people may not like me. That's perfectly okay. If I was in his position, if I would promote people I liked, sure. If you're an asshole, I wouldn't promote you. But that's not me. I'm not an asshole. Obviously, I don't get along with everybody, but I'm mostly well liked. So what I'm getting at here is, if you're somebody who's up for promotion and you feel like they were the reason you didn't get the jobs, like I said, you didn't get the job probably not because of the work. It's because of like who they like, and that's how it is in retail. Like for you to ascend, you got to be somebody that you got to be somebody that I don't know, that they favor, because he had a lot of, like, Kay had a lot of pull over my store manager. He was able to convince him to, like, get a certain car. Now, I'm kind of a car guy. Like, unless you my family or somebody I love, you're not going to tell me what car I shouldn't get. I don't care who you are. So, there was that. But there was a time when I first thought about becoming a manager. And I remember there was this anonymous thing where you could, like, they say it's anonymous, it's really not. There was this anonymous thing where you could tell them, like, oh, if there are any, like, concerns you have about any managers. And a lot of people swear they were going to do it. And Kay said he was going to do it, and Kay never did. So he was just talking out of the ass. And I don't blame Kay for not, doing it. Because he didn't convince me. I was always going to write something. And at the time, I wrote about this manager that didn't do any work. Never said any names, didn't even say it was a guy or a girl. But they knew who I was talking about. And they would ask me, like, if I'm good. I'm like, yo, I'm great. I just want to know, like, what was to do about this guy. And then the next week, they said, yo, you'll never be manager because you're late. And what's funny is Kay got promoted, and he said he's been later than me. He's late all the time. He just calls. And I'm like, yo, there's people who are late and they don't show up to work. There was a few girls who didn't show up for 3 weeks. Like, yo, what's going on here? So it's not making sense. Everybody's late. I'm not the latest one here. People keep talking about time and attendance. Everybody's always late. Like, they talk about that about me all the time. Like, yo, everybody's always late. They like, yo, just get your time. I'm like, yo, shut up about that. Everybody here is always late. It's not just me. And, that I said that in the first video. I'm not here to talk about that noise. But, so it was just interesting. They were going to promote a guy who just got there 2 weeks in. And all of a sudden, he's kissing the manager's ass. And they were going to promote him instantly. He was just here for 2 weeks. He didn't do anything. He worked 2 days a week. And like, oh, he's going to get a promotion? Because he likes that manager? Why do you like this manager so much who he got no credentials? Oh, his mama used to be district manager. His stepmama. I'm like, word? You could have just told me that. Seriously, you could have just told me that. Like, I get it. Like, it's business. Want to promote your fam? Cool. But you could have just said that. Like, you didn't have to act like, oh, you'll never be promoted because you talk shit. Like, you could have just said, like, it's nepotism. And from the bottom of my heart, nepotism is fine. If you get an opportunity, you're lucky enough to get an opportunity, you got to use it. And he's not using it. He's lazy. He doesn't do anything. So you're basically spoiling somebody who, he's 30, which is fine, who you putting him in this position because he made a mistake. You got to let that person make a mistake. You can't fix it for him. And his stepmom, not even his stepmom, she's still dating his dad or whatever. But, that's what I'm getting at. It's like, I was the best worker there, was well liked, but the store manager, he didn't like me more than Kay. And that's why he got promoted. And look, big ups to Kay. He did what he had to do, say what he had to do. And the thing about Kay is he's had 2 sexual harassment talks. First talk happened when he was here for like 2-3 months. Next time came when what's the word they use? Temporary associate came, and she said she felt uncomfortable by him. So he's had 2, complaints, and they just sweep it under the rug, and they act like he's not a weirdo. And that's what I understand. This guy's a weirdo. You be willing to risk your job over this? Because with the Shannon Sharp situation, as you can see, women can change your whole life. So it's that's just what it is. So I just came to talk to you about promotions and how sometimes you may not get it, and don't blame yourself. You can only do the work you do. If they don't want to promote you for X, Y, and Z, honestly, like, That credit card debt problem I had, I already took care of that. I'm good now. So it worked out in the end. I was stressing for nothing. By this time last year, I was stressing crazy, and now I'm vibing. Credit score is way up. So you know what I mean. So yeah, just came to talk to y'all about that promotion stuff and give y'all a little story. And you know, I feel like it's a little rambly, but yeah, that's my truth right there. And my advice for y'all is to, like, if you're a hard worker, because there's a lot of noise online about work smarter, not harder. No, if you're a hard worker, you're gonna go places. Trust me, you're gonna go places. You just gotta find a way to make the uh make what you're working hard at work for you at some point. Because if you work hard, you got some type of work ethic, and you gotta apply that work ethic to something else, and it could be anything, and you'll go far. You know, I would say don't blindly follow, these companies that would like replace you in a heartbeat. They can replace me, and I've told people like, hey, I'm probably not gonna be here past a year. These people, the fake noise is killing me. So yeah, I probably should make this more structured, but these are kind of like my feelings coming out. Um, and I don't harbor any strong resentment really. I mean, like I said, I'm good now, but it's just I don't like. There's so many things like problems that they complain about. I'm like, yo, if you had made me a manager, these things would have been done. Like I'd have been chilling. I'd have been here. I'd have had more time, an extra 20 hours a week. There would be everything would have been boom, 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 boom. And like I just told you on the first episode, like what I'm working at now, in the whole district, we finished everything. Like we got everything done faster. And my manager was like, "Yeah, bro, we be BS." And I'm like, I'm like, he keeps saying we. I'm like, we don't BS nothing. You BS, not me. Like, oh, last 30 minutes. I'm like, last 30 minutes, bro. Whatever. But thank y'all for listening to me. Let me know if I can structure these better. Let me know if y'all have any other questions. So, you know. And one final thing I'll say before I go: do not let these retail people control your life. You're only on this plane for so long. Don't be one of these fools that let these companies take you for granted and drive you to the ground. There's too many people I've known that have spent so many years somewhere and they like, oh, they never treated me right. Leave. Get up out of there. If they want to promote somebody else, they think somebody else is better than you. I let them do my work. Let's see how much work get done, and then find because I promise you, all you need is one place to show you just a smidge of respect, and you will get places way farther. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.